So I want to say a huge thank you to Lion Brand Yarn for this donation of several different yarns for me to try on this Addi 46 circular knitting machine. And what I am doing is, normally my yarn reviews are reserved for my premium and VIP members in my circular machine knitting community, which is an awesome place, and you can join for free. We have a complete free beginners course and pattern library and a supportive community, all for free. But what I do provide my paid members are these yarn reviews. But since Lion Brand was so generous to donate me these yarns to try on the machine, I am making these yarn reviews available to everyone. So this one here is called Chainette. I have actually been looking at it for a long time. Now it is 65% baby alpaca, 35% nylon. There's not much to this though. There's only 1.75 ounce or 50 grams or 164 yards or 150 meters. So there's not a lot to this, but I've wanted to try a chainette type yarn on this machine. So the gauge on this is 18 stitches and 26 rows on 5mm needles for a 4x4 inch or 10x10 centimeter square. It's a 4-weight yarn, and the washing instructions say hand wash, lay flat to dry. So what I'm going to try to do is, I've got 2 balls of it. One I've already pre-wound. I highly recommend always get yourself a yarn winder, pre-wind your yarn. And we're going to try it out on the machine, and hopefully between the 2 balls we have enough to make a hat. Now, what I am doing, because all of this yarn was donated to me, is I will be donating these hats. In our community, we do have a lot of people in need, including a huge section of international students who come in from very warm places and do not realize what Canadian winters are about. So these hats will be donated. The projects that I make from these donated yarns will be given away. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to cast on and see how that goes. And I'm leaving a little bit extra tail length just because it is for a hat. All right, and then I'm gonna hand crank a couple of rows here just to see how it goes. I better reset my row counter here so I don't forget. Okay, so it already missed a couple of stitches there. So let's keep going for a moment. I'll have to fix that. It's not pulling nicely up from the yarn tube here. Let's just see if we can. See if we pull this down over the red pegs, if it'll catch. Come on, go down. There we go. bring this one up and over, fix that one. Now it is coming, I might have to loosen it off of the yarn winder a bit. Seems a bit wound tight, which can sometimes happen. Okay, well after that first little blunder, and it may not have been loaded correctly into here. I have to go back and check the footage later. It does seem to be hand cranking good. All right, let's put the machine on it nice and slow and see what it does. Okay, seems to be doing pretty good there. Tension's a bit tight, so let's see if we can pull a little bit more out of the center here. Okay, it's still pulling out tight. I gotta pull it a little bit more. My machine is getting old and it does not like it when the yarn is tight. So newer machines would probably be fine. My old machine, and I will be trading out soon for the new one I have sitting in my living room, but this one's still working, so we're gonna keep using it until, but every once in a while you get the dreaded crank sound, and oh, I know it's ending because I've gone through enough of these. Now, I think 2 of them I went through because I used the screwdriver attachment, the drill attachment, and I think I burnt those machines out, so this one's lasted a pretty good long time. Alright, let's pick up the speed just a little bit. Alright, so we've done 21 rows so far. Except for that small glitch at the beginning, it seems to be doing pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get 130 rows between these 2 balls. And then I'll be back to take it off the machine and share my thoughts with you. Now, if it messes up as we go along, I will stop it and share that too. So we'll see how it goes. So I was able to comfortably get 105 rows, might get 106, 107, but I'm going to leave it at 105. That's a nice 100 to 105 rows is a nice size for a kid's hat. So I'm going to take it off here. So as you can see, the tension looks good. There's no tuck stitches. It knitted up actually quite nicely. So I'm going to leave myself a long tail end here. And I'm not going to do the full hat project here for you. The goal of this is just a yarn review. And the reason I stopped at 105, I could have gone to 130, but then I would start using up the second ball I got, and then I'd have all this leftover yarn. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do 2 kids' hats with this yarn. So I'm just going to take this off. Let's get this through the darning needle here. Okay, and then we'll show you what it looks like. So I'm going to pull this off here. All right, so let's take off this first stitch here. And this next one. I usually do 4. And then I start taking off multiples. So I will see you back once I got this off the machine and my machine moved out of the way. Okay, so first impressions, it's got a nice even tension to it, though I am pretty sure I'm going to have to, yep, I'm going to have to stretch this baby out. So let's give it a nice good stretch here. Like I said, I'm not going to complete the hat. I'll do that later, and I'll do both of them up and probably bring them with me. I'm recording this on December 23rd, so I'll probably bring them with me to Christmas Eve service to donate. But as you can see, it's got a nice, good tension to it. I love the fact it's got a bit of stretch to it because it is the chainette, so it's a different type of yarn. The feel, I wouldn't say super soft, but it is a nice softness to it. I think overall that this yarn is usable in your machine. Because the balls are so small though, you know, if you're going to make a project, I would highly recommend you probably buy this on sale. But definitely a hat, a sweater, you know, if you want to make yourself sort of a higher end sweater, a really good quality sweater, I think this would be appropriate for it. So this does get Kim's seal of approval, but also always with the caveat that all yarns work differently on different machines. While it may work on my machine, it may not work on your machine. So always do a test swatch when you are purchasing yarn to make sure that it works first. But I had no difficulties with this except for that first little blip. I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, I think that this is a good yarn to work with, and I recommend that you try it. Anyway, have a great day, everyone. Happy knitting, and we'll see you on the next yarn review.